What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound. And the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. It is myself and ChatGPT as my AI co-host, and we dive into a wide range of topics. So links in the description below. Check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, let's get into the topic of today's video, which is Mana Warden and this, how much it's burned in terms of overall vouchers. But more specifically, what is the requirement in order for these to be voucher neutral or negative? And when I say negative, I mean that in a positive way to the economy. So if you look at Mana Warden, we have 67,000 BCX that's printed. You multiply this by 30, and you get a little bit over 2 million vouchers that have been spent, aka burned, so far on this card. Now, for context, every 30 days, right? 30 times 40,000. Every 30 days, we print 1.2 million vouchers. So over the course of a 3-month period, 1 quarter, right, which is the cadence in which we're going to receive these cards, over the course of that time, 3 months, that's 3.6 million. So we're a little bit over halfway there, even though we're only a month into Mana Warden. So a month into like Mana Warden's time, right? Because it came out, I believe, at the beginning of September. So in that way, we're actually ahead of schedule in this. Now, I was hopeful that Mana Warden would actually burn a hell of a lot more, because right now what we're talking about doing is just treading water, right? If each of these cards only burns 30, sorry, not 30, but if each of these cards only burns 3.6 million during its time frame, then we're going to have the same amount. Plus, not on top of that, we had the Voucher LP incident at the beginning of its launch that essentially created a situation where we had very cheap vouchers and a bunch that were printed on the market. So looking at where we're at right now, it's not surprising to see voucher prices filtering downwards or floating downwards. And you can see here that we haven't really touched the circulating supply that much. We're still over 13.6 million. So, at this point in time, the initial hype has died down. Yes, we're actually still seeing some purchases per day, which is great. But ultimately, we're going to need to hit at least 3.6 million by, we'll say, December 1st, if that's when the next card comes out, in order for this to at least have treaded water. If we don't even get to 3.6 million, that's going to be a major problem. Now, at the end of the day, I do believe if voucher prices go low enough, right, then people will come in and look at that and say, yeah, let me just buy the card, right? Whether I'm going to not sell my vouchers or I'm going to just turn them into the card and try to level up. Looking at Mana Warden specifically, I've made several comments about how I wish the new cool ability would have been available at a higher level so that someone like myself would have been forced to actually get more BCX. I only have 1 BCX because that's all I really need to get the benefits of that card. Yes, is it better at the higher levels? Absolutely, but the main thing that I wanted it for was the ability, the shield ward, right? To be the ability to give shield to other players or other units. So ultimately, that's where we're at. Now, I've said this before. I would love for Mana Warden to stay in the store for an entire year and have other cards be added in, right? So let's say we get a new player that comes into the mix next year sometime, right? We'll say middle of next year, and they want a Mana Warden and the new card. Well, they can go buy them, and they can spend the vouchers on both of them, which offers Mana Warden to actually burn way more than 3.6 million vouchers, right? If you give him the entire year. On the flip side, we do value scarcity here, right? So I can understand the argument to not have it. I wouldn't say to have it be indefinite, right? Because we don't want, unlimited amounts being printed. Well, it's limited by the amount of vouchers overall, but unlimited in the sense where, like, at some point we should cut it off. And that's why I'm saying rather than cut it off every month or every quarter, cut it off after a full year, so that when people go in, right, you'll have this rolling four quarter options, essentially. So by the time we get to September of next year, that's when we rotate Mana Warden out. But there will be 3 other options that get joined by whatever replaces Mana Warden. So at that point, people coming in are able to buy into the older cards without feeling like they're super scarce. The flip side of that, as I was saying earlier, the flip side is that if you cut it off in December and say, okay, no more. That could actually push people to say, you know what? Let me spend the vouchers now. Let me just grab it just in case, right? Because we don't know what's coming next, or we do know what's coming next, and I'm just going to grab some Mana Wardens because there's only 67,000. And if I did my math right, and let me do it again here because I don't want to do it based off of memory from a couple of days ago, but like 67,000, it's a common card, so divided by 400, like there's 167 max copies of this card. That's not very many. Now, granted, I've made the argument that the max copy of this card isn't that appealing, so there's that. But hopefully, they'll take some of that feedback and make the future versions of these quarterly promo cards even better at mid tier and higher levels, so that folks like myself who only went for one BCX will be forced to go for higher BCX. But that's really all I have for you guys in this video. Just wanted to share the numbers and where we're at. Again, we're actually trending more than halfway on Mana Warden so far, but things have obviously slowed down significantly. And the truth is that I had higher hopes for this. I had higher hopes for this shift, that it would not just burn 3.6 million, but burn a significant amount more, considering how much extra we currently have in the ecosystem, right? This 13 million. So we'll have to wait and see. Might have to wait until December, maybe even, I don't know, March of next year, to see how the next couple of iterations go. But at this point in time, we are trending ahead of schedule technically. That includes an exploit, which could have actually been beneficial to us trending ahead of schedule. But either way, I'm just going to leave it here and let you know that's where we're at. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.